unable to keep the heat layer, but the newly built apartment today carries the heat to keep the heat, more or less work. Starting tomorrow, Nguyen Ngung Din went to the street to shop, mainly supplementing with drugs and energy sources, seeing what needs to be able to buy additional. Before sleeping, Nguyen Ngung continued to take the original novel to remember the details. Anyway, this was one of her golden fingers. This novel is about 1 million words, classic events, characters who remember many. Yesterday, Nguyen Ngung tried to fight the drowsiness to see about hundreds of thousands of words. Today, finished the job early, can read a little. In fact, Nguyen Ngung wanted to go to bed, but now the time is very valuable, can only reduce the rest time. A 10-line chapter, Nguyen Ngung estimated what the next accident would be, including what evil power, what these people were related to. She read about 400,000 words. Naturally, Nguyen Ngung flipped over quickly, not reading carefully, and quickly flipped the male lead scenes and the female leads. Nguyen Ngung finished reading and sighed to determine the new shopping list. The medicine is like this and that. A outfit to prevent emission. The reason for buying IoT tablets and anti-radioactive clothes is because in the upcoming period, a nuclear weapons war will be broken out of the world. In fact, Nguyen Ngung also did not understand why until this period, and then there was a world war anyway, according to what the author wrote in the book. Thinking a little carefully will see in the situation of lack of resources, every day people have only one piece of food to eat, a sip of water to drink. Which country is not the same? But what they scrambled was to be marine resources. After natural disasters occur, a flood almost exhausted food, the land environment became difficult. At this time, all countries poured their eyes to the sea, especially the freshwater resources, stored in the extreme areas. In extremely hot weather, fresh water is a resource worth thousands of gold. It is also the grave of those who want to dig gold. Everyone wants to rob the way of life. Conflict is understandable. Today his ship touches my ship. Tomorrow I destroyed his harbour. Later on, the size of the battle, the larger the battle scale. The countries with the left government organization were okay, but there were also some terrorist organizations and military nations. I don't know who started first, but after dropping a few dirty bombs, the continuous revenge sequence immediately. This blue pearl is the place to suffer all nuclear conflicts. However, these things with Nguyen Ngung now are relatively far away. Her first goal is to store goods. Storage, storage, storage. In the early morning, Nguyen Ngung stepped down to bed. The first thing she did was to inventory the materials she had. All online items will be sent to the warehouse, but currently the goods have not yet arrived. What she has now is a refrigerated cabinet. Every day, within 3 days, produce 78 bottles of mineral water, 3 stewed chicken hot pots, 3 duck hot pots, 1.5 kilograms of cherry, 3 boxes of chocolate, vegetables, fruits, spices, and dried meat. Ostentatious that it could be arranged in a small mountain. Besides, because she was afraid of not having meat to eat, she bought 2 more kilograms of pork. Now it has become 7.5 kilograms of meat. 7.5 pork is really a lot. Even if the family of 3 people can eat 0.5 kilogram of meat a day, the amount of pork is refreshed. Every day is also 5 times more than they're eating. Not to mention, she also has stewed beef, spicy crabs, grilled sausages, squid, clams, and many other things. All of that supplies will be renewed 3 times. Yesterday was okay. It didn't need to leave the refrigerator. It was okay to take out the pile in the room. But today, the refrigerator at home was unable to stuff anything else. Open inside, all are meat and food. At this time, Nguyen Ngung felt so that the function of refreshing terrorism was that. There is no other way. Nguyen Ngung can only close the vegetables, fruits, and cooked foods and store in space 130 cubic meters. The time in the space is stopped, so vegetables will not be damaged, nor will smell. After rearranging the existing supplies, Nguyen Ngung bought and sold things in his hand for a while, finally spent 52,000 yuan. In addition to the balance yesterday, currently in her hands, there are about 61,000 yuan. As planned, Nguyen Ngung went out to a car rental company. The owner of this car dealer is a bit fat, looking only 40, so it looks older than the actual age. Perhaps due to the competitive pressure in the workplace, he was very enthusiastic about the job, extremely enthusiastically asked Nguyen Ngung to rent a car. Nguyen Ngung answered, "I want a car with a large fuel tank capacity." This is the first time the owner of the car rental company has heard this type of request. The large fuel tank capacity is equivalent to the large amount of consumption. So if the long distance will run out of gas as usual, so the capacity of the fuel tank is large or small, it does not mean anything, because no matter what, it can be poured gasoline on the road. Is there any other request? The boss asked. For example, the life of the car, horsepower, or brands. Nguyen Ngung said, "Good driving, large fuel tank capacity is okay. Definitely the fuel tank capacity must be large." The boss took out a catalogue. How is this Lexus? The fuel tank 138 litres, nearly 3 more normal. Family cars, the life of the car is just over 5 years. There is also this Mercedes-Benz. In addition to the advantages of a large fuel tank, the interior is also very luxurious, creating an extremely comfortable feeling for the driver. Moreover, the horse's horse is also very large. The double turbocharger can accelerate within 6 seconds, but the price is a bit expensive. Nguyen Ngung was curious. How much is it a bit expensive? Boss, 1,865 yuan a day. The mortgage is 10,000 yuan. Nguyen stopped, immediately pointing to the Lexus in the catalogue. What about this? Boss, this one is 570 yuan a day. The mortgage is 7,000 yuan. Nguyen. Ngung counted a bit. She needed to pay for 8 days, plus the mortgage, a total of 11,600 yuan, considered as within the acceptable scope. After all, this is equivalent to buying an old car. Nguyen Nin looked at the no staff card of this person. So take this one. I hire 8 days. The Bossango, you make papers. The Bossango was also honest. Your papers are not a problem. But before that, we just went to see the car. After watching, she made a decision. The two of them went to an empty parking lot. The boss said a few things to note when driving this car, then let Nguyen Ngung drive 2 rounds, finally signed the contract. While Nguyen Ngung prepared to sign, she suddenly thought about something. Boss, is there any bank near your company? Out of the door, turn left about 500 meters, will have an ATM. Nguyen Ngung put his pen down. I went to withdraw money. He waited a little. About 15 minutes later, Nguyen Ngung took 10,000 yuan in cash, signed and gave it to the boss. The boss and Go felt a bit difficult to understand. Beautiful people, actually. We accept payment with WeChat. So hot day. So why do you have to do that? Nguyen Ngung stopped the pen, looked at the boss, seriously said, Boss and Go, if you believe me and keep this money in my hand, I will definitely, sometimes you need to use it. The boss and Go smiled. No problem. The business person should still keep some cash in his hand. Nguyen Ngung also did not know if he believed himself or not. After the solar super explosion occurred, many smart people did not go waiting to contribute fun, but quickly ran to shopping for supplies. Because payment via mobile phone was cancelled, these 10,000 yuan in cash were real money, can buy life. Later, the money will turn into paper, even used to clean the ass is still too small. After leaving the car rental company, Nguyen Ngung found a store and bought 30 large oils of 200 litres. Then she started pouring gasoline from one gas station to another. Last night, she tested with water. This space could automatically extract liquid and pour into the place she wanted to contain, eliminating the trouble when pumping oil out. While passing through different gas stations, Nguyen Ngung not only bought medicine, but also could get off the car to buy some food. All of these expenses are paid in cash. It is not that cash will help the gas station, but simply because Nguyen Ngung is afraid of encountering trouble. If you carefully compare, use cash to trade safer. The whole day, Nguyen Ngung ran back and forth more than 20 gas stations, passing more than 40 pharmacies, oil barrel purchased. Today was more than half. Looking at the full oil barrels in the space, Nguyen Ngung feels happy due to richness, but also feel heavy pressure. Happiness is because the material has more, and the pressure is because her space is not wide enough. 130 cubic meters, really too small. The system reminded, in time, just rob the fate of the male lead this book. The system will reward more space for the space. Nguyen Ngung said, I know, but how can it be so easy? Temporarily unable to use force, should still brainstorm to think of other measures. At the moment she was thinking, the phone was silent for 2 days, suddenly rang. Nguyen Ngung took out his cell phone, only to see above the name of Chao Tue, infection. Nguyen Ngung remembers her. Chao Tue infection is a colleague of this body. Owner, 2 people working in the same industry. Normally the relationship is also quite good. At the same time, she is also a member of the male main harem. Nguyen Ngung just clicked to receive the call. The other side shouted, Ngung, why don't you go to work today? Today is Monday? It is true that Nguyen Ngung has forgotten this, about the end of the world. Who has the mood to go to work? Going to work is impossible. She doesn't want to go to work at all. She agreed to find agents due to, the mood is not good. I plan to resign. Xiao Xiaoping, raised a voice. Is it because of Luke Trach? Luke Trach was a second warm boy. The 2 of them broke up not long ago. Nguyen Ngung felt that he could use this reason. Yes, do the same place with his ex-boyfriend, a little embarrassed. So I want to resign from a job. Zhou Xiaoping regretfully said. So, but I feel this is not very important. He doesn't work together with us. You quit your job, I can't. Interpretation was also redundant. Nguyen Ngung just silently did not say a word. Chao Tue infected automatically taken the brain, afraid of Nguyen Ngung, so he lost his cow to take care of the barn. Quickly said, but switching to a new environment is also good. Today Mr. Nam scolds people in the office, saying if you don't even go to work, you will take a break. Even the department of Fong Fong doesn't come. He or she thinks he loves Luke. But I can hear it. The person he really wants to scold is you. Nguyen Ngung felt unimportant. Let him say it. I won't go to work anyway. Zhou Xiaoping sniffed. You think it is really good? Stop stopping. Are you really okay? Do you want to go to my house to drink a few glasses? We drink a cup of sorrow. Chao Xiaoping and Nguyen Ngung lived in the same area as the male lead, but Chao Tio Jia was on the other floor. The relationship between Nguyen Ngung and Chao Tio infection is quite good because the 2 of them often go to work and go to each other. The personality of Xiao Xiaoping is both innocent and romantic. She has a sister as a manager in a big company, quite high income and very good treatment with this only younger sister, even buying a car for Chao Tio infection. Sometimes Nguyen Ngung also rely on her car, then will buy food to thank Chao Tio infection. Nguyen said, no need, now I'm not at home, always free to contact later. Perhaps Chao Tio infection felt her heart breaking, so said, so when you have free time, contact later. Anyway, we live near each other. Nguyen Ngung hung up the phone, suddenly smiled on his face, said to the system, Tu Lin, I have thought of a way to destroy the male horse's fate of the male lead. The system said, what the devil is Tu Lin? Isn't your character number 00125? Moreover, it doesn't matter how important. Nguyen Ngung said, we can use the tactics from afar, take action from the Zhou sister, so that Department of Din Fong cannot find his wife in the early stages. The system of fear. Master, don't say you want to harm the Zhou family. Nguyen Ngung turned his face contemptuously. How could it be, you carefully reflected? How could the department of Din Fong be able to let the two cousins fall in love with one person? The system opened the book. In the novel, the Zhou cousin at first did not like the department of Din Fong, especially Chao Tio Dak, the great metal, the beautiful beauty but also strong, which could not love him. But at that time was extremely scarce. For her sister to have a good life, Chao Tio Dak had fallen into the plan of department of Din Fong, just because of half a box of bread that she had to help sew Din Fong to keep the base, actually, creating a separate time for the two of them to contact each other. As the circumstances became more and more harsh, because to let himself and his sister have the opportunity to survive, Chao Tiu Kok finally only dedicated himself to him, but she did not know, while she thought herself helped sew Din Fong to keep the base for him to go out to look for materials. So Din Fong went to her house to bully Chao Tiu infection, at the same time deceiving both sides. Moreover, Chao Tiu infection was both innocent and romantic, as a very suitable object to deceive. Wait until the two cousins know that the other person also had to go back and forth with Din Fong. It was late, the system said. So Din Fong has captured these two sisters. Chao Tiu Mok's management capacity is very strong, not only can help him handle the harem, but also can manage the base neatly. The smart index of Xiao Xiaoping is not as high, as her sister has no value of force, so Din Fong takes advantage of her so that she can give him 9 children. Nguyen Ngung said, "That's right. So Din Fong can develop like that, almost based on the dedication to the family of these two sisters. But what if we secretly give them some supplies?" System. Oh, Nguyen Ngung said that he did. After all, she knew that Chao Tio Jia's house number. Fear of courier will be none. Nguyen Ngung also specially chooses Tmol supermarket service to deliver to home. Compressed biscuits are the first must-have. Small volume, but can be full. Make sure the first 3 months do not have to leave the house. Can't buy too much water, will make others pay attention, but can buy a few more water filters. Cold fruit vegetables are a bit expensive, but to increase the space that some money still has to spend. Rice, wheat flour, these things also need to buy, cheap prices, and the main food of humans. Antiporant drugs, vitamins, and some other drugs also buy a little. Things that girls often use can forget, but must definitely prepare tampons, to make life a little more comfortable. After listing the total amount of about 3,000 wen, Nguyen Ngung willing to pay this amount, the system happily said, "The owner is too intelligent, so in the early stages of Shou Tieu Dieu will not have to sacrifice for his sister. This will affect the development process of Department of Fong Fong. Based on the system's judgment, the successful probability of this remote tactic is very high. Before the owner of 1,000 cubic meters of space, the refreshing speed of the refrigerator will double." Nguyen Ngung's eyes lit up. The refreshing speed of the refrigerator doubled. The solemn system explained, "Every day can refresh food twice. For example, with a bottle of mineral water, every day can refresh into 2 bottles.